Hey everybody, welcome in. Welcome to the Spiritual View. I am Wendy. It is the winter solstice. It is upon us. If you caught our live yesterday, we were talking about the winter solstice and some of our favorite things. And Elizabeth talked about a winter solstice ritual that we can do of writing down 10 of our kind of manifesting goals and then safely burning one each day, starting tomorrow. And then on the 31st, you're left with one. And that would be what kind of spirit in the universe is guiding you to really focus on. And then the rest will kind of just follow through. So I thought that was a lot of fun. Elizabeth, if you're watching, I'm writing them down today. Okay. If you are new to the channel, please check out our other videos. We do daily content and we usually have 2 lives a week. Next week, with the holiday week, we will not be doing our lives, but we'll be back to doing them starting on December 30th at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then we'll have another on Friday, right after the new year, at 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay. So I do message from spirit, and I'm going to pull some cards today. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm just going to pull oracle cards. So I'll pull 3 oracle cards, and then I'm going to pull more cards from the same oracle deck for clarification and just kind of go deeper in on that, just to see what message wants to come in from spirit today for the winter solstice. The winter solstice is very much about releasing and letting go. And this is kind of a big one with the new year coming in. So this is a really good time to just release anything that's no longer serving you, let that energy go, create a space to allow what wants to come in, the good stuff that you want to come in, having raised your vibration hopefully this year from doing all the work, right? That's what we've been working on for the last few months. And I know we're still going to be in that energy in the next few months, kind of moving things along, but now is a great time to get that manifesting energy going and start working towards those things and moving towards those things, right? So let's see what wants to come in. What message wants to come through? Okay. So we have it's always tea time, eternity, endless moments, repetition, because we're constantly learning and having to sometimes learn those lessons over and over again. If we aren't seeing it, if we aren't getting it, if we aren't doing the work, it's going to come back around, right? We have investigate, look closely, ask questions, think before acting, right? So take time, figure it out, think, pay attention, be in the moment, right? See what's going on around you. Okay. Impossible things, working through disbelief, imaginative leaps, and fresh perspective. I like that. So looking towards the future there, right? Anything's possible. That's what I see with this card. Like anything is possible. If you can imagine it, if you can envision it, it can happen. All right. And that is one of the things I want you to think about if you're going to do that winter solstice ritual and write down those 10 things. Think big, wish big. What do you want? What do you want to see? You know, let's work towards that. Okay, so I'm going to pull some extra cards for each one of these. So let's see. Or it's always tea time, the eternity, endless moments. What more can we find out about that? All must have prizes, trying to please everyone. You can't. Hate to burst anybody's bubble, but you can't please everyone all the time. Just not possible. Okay. Manage to be glad. Create your own happiness regardless of condition. Absolutely. Focus on what is it that you want. What are your goals? What are you looking towards? It's great to want to reach out and help others, but sometimes we have to help ourselves first. It makes me think of, the whole thing with the airplane, and they're like, if there's a problem and the masks come down, you need to put one on yourself first before you put one on somebody else, because you need to be able to help yourself so that you can help others. Because if you don't help yourself, then you're not going to be able to help anybody else, right? Okay, you can't go back to yesterday. Be in the present. And that is, again, that being in the present, grounding yourself, right? Not the easiest thing to do always. You can get into it for a little bit, but it usually slips away, and then you got to remind yourself to get grounded again. I know I do. Absolutely. Okay, I wonder what will happen next. Ready to adventure, precipice of change, pause before action. Yes. So that's kind of a constant, isn't it? I think that actually goes pretty well with that. It's always tea time, because as we go through these cycles, we're always wondering about what's coming up, what's next, which is partly what makes it hard to be present, right? And to just be mindful and in the moment, because we're always thinking about, well, what's coming? Or sometimes people get stuck with, let's see, where is it? I know I saw one. Oh, yeah, you can't go back to yesterday. Same card. So being grounded in the moment, it's like, so you don't want to be just stuck thinking about the past and what has already happened that you can't change, and looking towards the future, right? I wonder what will happen next. Also, not being present, right? So if you're thinking too much about the past and what you can't change, or if you're thinking about the future and what is to come, which I understand, we need to be able to do that, especially with the manifesting, think about what we want, but you don't want to get so focused on it that you're not being present and in the moment and working towards those things, right? So it's good to just remind yourself to come back to the present, to be here in the present moment, and to ground yourself in that energy. Not always the easiest thing to do. I know. All right, we're going to pull some more cards for investigate. Look closely, ask questions, think before acting. It's asking you to kind of have some patience, really give things thought. I think, we're being asked to not just jump into things blindly right now, to actually, kind of ponder and ask the questions and work through our feelings on things, and really, um, give it some thought. Um, Nonsense. It's time to talk sense. Okay. So cutting out the stuff, remember, we're releasing and letting it go. So if things aren't working for you anymore, then stop doing that. Stop bringing it in. Stop listening to the things that aren't working for you, that aren't helping you, right? Never jam today. Promises that never came to be, empty words, not living in the now, right? So again, asking you to just release and let go of those things, the things that are, if you've been waiting and waiting and waiting for somebody to change, stop waiting for them to change. Okay. If you want change, you make the change. You are not responsible for anybody else. You can't change anybody else. All you can do is have control over yourself and your own reactions to things, right? And your own perception of things. Okay. And believe. Strange encounters. That I have had many a strange encounter in my life, and it makes me believe, for sure. There are some things that happen that we just can't explain, and sometimes you just got to go with it, you know? And that's faith. The things that we can't prove, the things that we can't see. Sometimes you just have to believe, and trust yourself and trust your intuition, right? Law is not justice, rules that are not fair. You know, there's a lot of things in this world that we don't have control over. And we need to be able to accept that, right? That's another thing we kind of have to release and let go of, is trying to have that control, whether it be of someone else or a certain situation. Some things are just out of our hands, unfortunately. But that just is the way it goes. All right, let's see for that impossible things, moving into the future here through working through disbelief. And remember, we just got that believe cards of being asked to believe things, imaginative leaps and fresh perspective. You know, with all of the work that we've been doing, and working through how we feel about things, or when things come up and make us angry or upset or just really uncomfortable, and talking through that and doing the work, right? Finding the lesson. Remember from last week, we were talking about finding the lesson. That helps us it will help shape you. It helps you grow, and it helps you to gain a fresh perspective, right? It can help you really change the way that you think about things, moving forward. That's like so important. It's so important to do the work. You you know, you educate yourself, and you just expand. And that's what you want to be doing, right? You want to be expanding your view, expanding your world, not making it smaller. You don't want to make yourself smaller, right? And when we don't face those things, and when we don't do the work, and when we push it down and avoid it, we're making ourselves and our world smaller. And that's really not what we want to be doing. We want to be expanding that energy and, making things better, right? And feeling good. When you feel good, that's that expansion, right? When you feel bad, that's when you feel all closed in and small. So we're working towards that expansion. Okay, changed in the night. You have changed quickly. And I know, especially with this Aquarian energy that we're in with the new age of Aquarius, absolutely, things are moving pretty quickly for a lot of people. I want to be queen, stating your sovereignty, declaring freedom, passing a test. Okay, this is also about owning it, right? So if you are thinking about things, especially if you're thinking about things in the past that you cannot change, just own it and learn from it and move forward. Sometimes that's all you can do, is just take the lesson and accept it. And that helps us to change our perspective, and then we move forward. And that makes you stronger. That's a good place to be. Okay, do not drink poison. Do not do things are bad for you. So resist that backsliding. Resist taking what in the moment feels like the easier path of not doing the work, of, just pushing it down or putting it on the back burner or ignoring it. It's not going to go away. It's going to just keep popping up until you work through whatever you need to work through and find that lesson, right? So really try to resist that temptation of just pushing it down, because remember, that lesson's just going to come right back. And it's going to just repeat itself again until you do the work. All right. And then we have set your course, know where you wish to go, have a plan, the right direction. And that's all about what we were talking about with that ritual, is, setting your intentions, setting your manifestations, having goals, right? And then starting to take steps towards those goals. And that's exactly what we want to do, so that we can expand our existence, expand our experience, and be open to those new things that want to come in. We are doing the work, raising our vibration so that we can create space and, releasing and letting go of the things that don't serve us anymore, creating that space for what we do want, what we've been working towards and attracting to be able to come in, right? And it can be really uncomfortable sitting in that kind of empty space where you've released and let go, but what you want to come in hasn't come in yet. And it can be really uncomfortable to just kind of sit in that energy, right? And that's when you're going to get tempted to just be like, well, let me just have this, I'll hold on to this as a kind of a placeholder. And we start to let that kind of that fear come in, and we try to hold on to things and control things. And we don't want to do that. We want to try and just let it be, right? And that's part of that grounding, being in the moment, allowing for that space to be there so that we can welcome in the stuff that we've been planning and that we want to have come in, right? We've been doing the work, we're learning, we're trying to be open to these things, we're changing our perspective on things, we're growing, we're getting stronger, we're educating ourselves on things. Keep going in that direction. That's where you want to go. Absolutely. All right. So I think this is a great message coming through. I think it's saying, yes, we are doing it. We are working on these things and we're going to get there. And you just got to keep going and just doing it step by step, and you're going to get there. You're going to get there. So I hope you all have an amazing holiday. I hope you all take part in doing this little ritual with us and writing down your intentions and manifestations and seeing what you end up with, what the universe wants you to focus on in coming into the new year. We've got some, just exciting things happening in the next year, and I really hope that you can join us. Please join us for our lives when we come back starting December 30th. We often do little free readings in those lives, so if you want to get a free little reading, please join us. I hope you all well, and I hope you all have a happy holiday, and I will see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Oh, and if you like this video, please subscribe, like, share, and comment. We'd love to hear your comments on how you guys are doing and content that you would like to see from us. So please leave a comment, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.